Hey guys, welcome to this video. I'm going to show you 8 tips on how you become much better at code vein. Stay until the end because by the end of the video, you are going to be able to become an expert at playing this game using these tips. So, for starters, we need to look at the basic mechanics of the game in order to really take down the enemies and the bosses. Make sure you don't miss the last 2 tips because they're going to be the most important. You don't want to miss them. So, let's look at tip number 1, which is deciding on your playstyle. You want to be more nimble and mobile, using a quick sword as you see here, or do you want to be able to cast gifts from afar? Like example, using these fireballs over here. Or you want to be a powerhouse, and you want to have that raw power by using a heavy sword like you see here, and be able to get up close and personal with your enemies. It's all going to be quite important, and you can also change them on the fly as well, which is one of the great things about this game. You're not stuck to just one type of place here. So, with that, let's move into tip number 2. Which blood code works well for you? So, do you prefer to get up close and personal? Do you prefer to be able to get hit and get lots of damage in? Or do you prefer to just survive? You have 3 main types of blood codes. Here we have the Queenslayer, which you get later on in the game. You have the Fighter, the Ranger, and you also have the Caster. Now these 3 are the ones you're going to get by default when you start the game, but you get more of them over time, either through enemies, or you also get them as you progress through the game from your different companions. So, let's take a look at some of the gifts. These are what you get inside of the blood codes, which can be learned, and then you can also progress with them so you can master those gifts as well, which are quite important as you go throughout the game. You can also mix and match the different type of gifts that you can use. So if you have a particular gift and you master it, you can use it in other blood codes, which is quite helpful. So if we take a look at Fighter, that's going to be helpful for people who like to use heavy weapons and want to excel in the raw strength department. So my typical playthrough is going to be one that uses something like Fighter, which is going to be very helpful for me. The strongest one to use of all these is Atlas, and the owner of Atlas is Yakima, who is behind me. So if I use Atlas in combination with a great tool like the one I'm using, or another one called Judgment Edge, that's going to allow me to really wreak some damage, which is a great build for strength players. So, let's take a look at another one, which is going to be Caster. So we change the blood code over here, change it to Caster. That's going to help us cast better gifts. And I would say one that is better than this for Caster would be the Queen's Throat. That will give us the ability to get the maximum damage when we're using gifts here. You get that later on in the game as well. But here we can see the damage that a Caster can wield. And if we look at the Ranger, this will help us with support, making sure that we can just survive. And it gives us different gifts that we can do that with. So, for example, being able to move very quickly, dashing forward in the mist form, for example, is one of the Ranger gifts. So that brings us to tip number 3. Pay attention to your stamina. When you're playing a game like Code Vein, everything you do has a cost. Whether you're rolling, hitting, dodging, all those things have a cost, as you can see here. But when you get involved with the enemy, one thing you don't want to do is when you get hit, your stamina goes to 0. And when your stamina goes to 0, you're not going to be able to do much. So you're going to let your partner be the one to help you out so your stamina can recharge. Tip number 4, choosing a partner. Now, choosing a partner, you can do that going to the home base here. You can speak to different people. So we have Yakima over here, Mia, who I was just looking at. Yakima is more of a heavy weapons type, where Mia is going to focus on the long range hits. Then we have Louis, who we had at the beginning of the game. He's more of a general overview type guy. And we have E over here. She's more of a support specialist, and she's pretty good with the axe as well. You can change them as often as you want, and as you go throughout the game, you gain more companions to go with you to the different level. So let's look at tip number 5. Master dodging and parrying. It goes without saying that this is a souls-like game, so you're going to have to do a lot of that dodging and parrying. You want to make sure that you do this as good as possible, and you get better over time. Remember, everything you do has a stamina bar attached to it. The more we dodge and we parry, the more we get better at it, the better the enemies can go down as well. Moves us to tip number 6. Learn the enemy patterns. There are a lot of different enemies in this game. Each one of them has their own patterns, especially the bosses. And as we go along and we play the game, we'll figure out what those patterns are, how we can exploit them, and make sure that we take the enemies out, guard where necessary, and also block and dodge where necessary. Make sure we keep an eye on our stamina meter, just to make sure that we're staying longer in the game, so we don't have to go through it all over again. The last thing we want to do is be that close and then have to do it all over again. So, let's move on to tip number 7, upgrading our stuff. We have to go to Rin, the home base, to do it. We can upgrade any of the weapons that we have or the blood veils by looking at the different materials that we can gather throughout the game, such as the Queen's Iron, Steel, Tungsten, etc. It'll increase all the stats on our weapons and blood veils, which is great. But what you can also do is you can transform your weapons and your blood veils by giving them different effects, like eyes, blood, slowing down, lightning, stun, etc. You need different chromes in order to do that, and you can get that throughout the game. Some of them you have to get from your companions by trading items with them and building up their friendship in order to get it. But it's a cool little quirk throughout the game as well, and you can apply it at will, but you can't get the chrome back. And the final tip is to explore. The map in this game is great because it helps you see where you've gone as well as where you need to go. And if you get 100% like you get here, it helps you find some of the things you didn't see before. Whether we're looking at things like finding a chest with some weapons or a part of a vestige that we can help unlock a memory for and get a better gift of it, it's all helpful. We also have the Mistle, which is where we can save and also make sure that we can get more of the map. If we'll be doing this from the start, then it will light up the way where we need to go, which is helpful because you don't want to get stuck in a dungeon game like this. And so, with those 8 tips, I hope you can really master the game and have lots of fun with it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching this video on how you can get better at Code Vein. If you want to watch me play this game, click on the link above, and I will catch you later. See ya!